So today we're going to be talking about my trip to Norway. I'm going to tell you everything we got up to and the review of the place and just everything. So we actually went for 4 days, 3 nights, but 2 of them days were taken up by travelling, so technically we only had 2 full days in Norway. So we woke up early Friday morning, about 3 AM, ready to go to the airport, and the night before we had McDonald's for dinner, and I'm vegan, so I don't really know what could have upset my stomach, but something definitely did. So I wasn't feeling that great when we woke up. So where we was flying to was Kirkenes, which is like as far north as Norway as you can get, and you can't really get like a direct flight there. So we took 2 flights to get to Kirkenes on the same day. So we flew from Heathrow Airport. I think it was like a 2-hour flight. My voice is going. A 2-hour flight to Oslo Airport, which is in Norway. I think it's the capital of Norway. And then we had like a 4-hour wait before we got onto our next flight. And obviously I wasn't feeling great at this point, so it just felt so much longer than 4 hours. Like the second half of the flight, so from Oslo to Kirkenes, it was literally, I felt so ill. It was so stuffy on the plane, so crowded, and it's quite a small plane because obviously not many people fly to Kirkenes. So after a whole day of travelling, like we got up at 3 AM that day, and then I don't think we actually arrived in Kirkenes until like 8:30 in the evening. So it was a long day of travelling and waiting, but it was worth it. But at this point, my belly was so like unsettled, and I just wanted to get to our like hotel room. So when we got off the plane, someone from the Snowhotel was waiting for us to like transfer us over to the hotel. Yeah, that was like a 15-minute journey from Kirkenes airport to the Snowhotel. So we finally arrived at the Snowhotel, and when we walked in, they had arranged like a candlelit dinner for just us two, and this was like 9 o'clock in the evening, and I'm pretty sure they kept the staff back just to cater for us, which was so sweet. We didn't even expect to have dinner because it was so late at night. But I had this really lovely like yummy vegan meal, and when we was emailing them, they said that they're not really like experienced in vegan food, and I was literally amazed at the vegan food that they did give me. So I think for the first night I had like a roasted cauliflower with so many like different roasted vegetables and such a nice sauce. That was by far one of the best vegan meals I've ever had. So we were staying in a ice room for the first night, so they give you like a demonstration on like how to keep warm in the ice hotel, because I think it's like -4 degrees. So yeah, we were just given a demonstration while we were eating dinner of like the sleeping bags. So like you get a thermal sleeping bag and like a duvet sheet, and you're meant to get into the duvet sheet and then the sleeping bag on top, and like wear thermals and fluffy coats, and they give you a balaclava if you want. So I have like really bad sensory issues, so I find it really difficult to sleep in like loads of different layers and in a sleeping bag. So I did struggle with that. So yeah, after dinner we got all dressed and sorted for our ice hotel room. So you have to leave like all your belongings like in a locker in like the hotel like section, because that room is like -4 degrees. So I just took my phone and like my teddies and blankets, and the sleeping bags have like a little pocket that you can put your phone in, so it keeps like your body heat, keeps it warm in the night. We got all cozy. Like, it's surprising how warm you do actually get. The only part that was cold was my face, and I managed to fall asleep for like an hour before I woke up, and I needed the toilet pretty quickly because I was gonna throw up. Because obviously there's no toilet in your room because the whole room is made out of ice, and you can't really have an ice toilet. So anyway, I quickly woke Bill up, and I was like, I need to go to the toilet, like I'm gonna be sick. And he was still half asleep, bless him. But yeah, I have a emetophobia, which means I have an extreme fear of sickness. So this was like the worst luck I could get. And because I was sick, I couldn't spend the rest of the night in the ice room, just because it was too cold and it was too far away from a toilet when you're being ill. So thankfully they do have like an upstairs like cozy room in the hotel. So you just walk up the stairs, and it's like a really like dimmed like lounge type of thing. There's comfy chairs and everything, and you just all go there if you can't sleep. It's safe to say we didn't actually get any sleep that night because of me, because when I'm ill, I just make a big deal out of it. I can't just fall back asleep. Like, I am the worst person to deal with when they're ill. So breakfast is served at like 8:30 in the morning, but obviously where I was so ill in the night, I felt so weak and just needed something to eat. So Bill kindly asked like the kitchen staff if they could quickly make me just some toast before breakfast started, and they was honestly so nice and they made it for me. And yeah, they kept checking up on me throughout the day and just making sure I was okay and I felt well. And they were so kind and caring. So obviously I was a bit nervous that day because I felt so ill and we had so much planned that day, but thankfully after like the toast and a couple of drinks of water, that day we actually had the husky sleigh ride tour, which is like a 2-hour husky sleigh ride, and you stop halfway for like a campfire and some warm drinks and just to give the dogs a little break. But the dogs don't actually want a break because they enjoy it so much, so anytime we stopped they would start howling and just like trying to pull the sleigh again because they just loved it so much. But yeah, they was all so cute and there were so many dogs that were trying to like eat the snow as we was going along, and it was so funny. The dogs there are super friendly, so they have, I think it's either like 120 or 140 like husky dogs, and there's like a section outside where they all sleep in their little huts, and you're free to go there like during the day whenever, just to like stroke them and like play with them. And they're all so adorable. Obviously if you follow me on Instagram you would have seen all the cute dogs that I made friends with. Especially this little one, he was the sweetest. We had so many cuddles throughout our stay, and yeah, it was definitely the highlight of my stay there because I just love animals so much. And after the husky sleigh ride, we actually were staying in a log cabin for the rest of our stay, so we made our way to the log cabins, and these were so cozy because all the floors are heated, including like the bathroom floor. And they also have like a really huge window with 2 chairs so that you can sit and watch any northern lights or just like watch the scenery and the nature, which is really cute. Now obviously we didn't have any sleep the night before because I was so ill, and we'd been up since 3 AM the night before for travelling, so obviously we was extremely tired, and we ended up actually having like a 3-hour long nap that evening just before dinner. Which might I add was probably the best nap I've ever had because it was so cozy. But yeah, so anyway, we woke up from our nap, got ready for dinner, and then we headed over to like the main like dining area where we had like some more yummy food. Obviously the vegan food I had and the food Billy had was incredible. Like I swear they're like 5-star chefs. Like the food there was incredible, like 3-course meal every night. On Sunday, so we had snowmobiling at like 3 PM. We spent the morning having like snowball fights and just exploring a bit more. And we actually fed the deer, which was really sweet. But yeah, most of that day or morning was spent just exploring around the grounds. And then at 3 PM we had our snowmobile tour. Now we were put down for the 2-hour tour, but the guide there actually wanted to take us on a 4-hour tour, which was incredible. Like we're so grateful that it got extended, and I'm so glad that it did because it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. So I don't have my driver's license yet, so I couldn't drive the snowmobile, but Bill did, and I was sat on the back, and you have like 2 heated handles for you to hold on to so you don't get too cold, and they also provide you with like a full snowsuit and a helmet just in case any accidents happen. So we actually drove across the fjord, which took a couple of hours actually just because it was so long, and the rest of the hours was spent going through the forests, and we actually ended up on like a cliff top, and in the distance you could see like the border of Russia and like all the Russian forests. Then our snowmobile tour guide sort of spoke us through some like history of like the views we saw and everything like that, which was really interesting. The only problem I had was that I was on my period this holiday and I had only prepared for obviously like a 2-hour snowmobile tour, not a 4-hour one, so I didn't actually have any pads or tampons on me, which was a bit of an issue because I leaked. So you're in like a group. So there was like another English couple with us who we made friends with, super friendly, and I actually just went up to the lady in the couple and just said like, hi, do you have any like period things that I could have? And she kindly had some tissues, which helped a lot, but I then had the issue of like, I'm in the middle of like a snowy forest, like where am I meant to change? I'm in this huge snowsuit, so what am I meant to do? I went to go like behind one of the trees to change and get out of my snowsuit, but if I did that I would have actually froze because it was like -5. So thankfully the tour guide had a cabin nearby with like a toilet, so he took us there and I quickly got changed and it was fine. After that we actually stopped and had like some food and some warm drinks because it got super chilly because we was out past sunset, so it got incredibly cold very fast. So yeah, we kind of stopped for a little break. I was actually the only couple that didn't end up in like a deep layer of snow. So basically, like when you're on the snowmobile tracks, like if you get off of the track, like the snow is a lot deeper. So if you just go off a little bit, you will sink. And two of the other couples accidentally did that and they ended up in deep snow. But the tour guide is like fully trained on like helping you out and everything, and he was really good and made sure we was all safe throughout all the time. So you're sort of like driving in a line, so you have the tour guide at the front, and then we had another couple, then it was me and Bill and a couple behind us, and the tour guide every so often would like look behind just to make sure you're all still there and all still safe. But yeah, it was incredible. Bill enjoyed it so much, obviously driving a snowmobile. So after that we went back to our room, and obviously we hadn't seen the Northern Lights yet and it was our last night. So that was something we really wanted to do. So we actually went to the main reception and quickly booked the Northern Lights tour for that night. Essentially it's like a tour guide driving around a bus, trying to find like the places with the least amount of light pollution, because obviously if there's loads of light then it's hard to see the Northern Lights. And unfortunately for us, it was the full moon, so that meant that the moon was really bright. Thankfully it wasn't cloudy, but it was just hard to see because the moonlight was so bright. Thankfully we did actually see some, so they're not like green like you think they are. They're sort of like well, for us it was like a grey green, very light. It was quite hard to see with the eye, but on our camera it showed up so much better. So yeah, we finally saw them and it was such an incredible experience, something that I've been wanting to see for so long. So when me and Bill first started talking, like back 2 years ago, we'd always talk about how it's our dream to see the Northern Lights together, and it actually happened, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. It was such a romantic experience. It was something so nice to see, like cuddling under the stars watching the Northern Lights. It was truly amazing. So obviously that was our last night, and on the Monday we were due to go home. So I think our transfer got us around 9:30 AM and then took us to the Kirkenes airport, and before that we spent our morning saying goodbye to all the animals that we had met and made friends with. And yes, I did cry so much because I grow like such a big attachment to any animals that I like meet on my travels, and it was so sad. I honestly still cry to this day when I look back at videos of all the dogs. And I feel like I'm gonna cry now. I just grow such like a deep attachment to any animal. I don't know why, it's just something that happens and I can't help it. So yeah, honestly this experience, like this holiday to Norway, was truly one of my favourite holidays I've ever been on. I saw so many amazing things and made so many incredible memories, and all the staff at the hotel are so kind, caring and helpful, and they go like above and beyond for anyone. The hotel is literally beautiful, like the ice sculptures in the ice rooms and the decor in the cabins. Everything is just 10 out of 10. It is amazing. I've been trying to urge everybody on my Instagram to save up and go to Norway because it is honestly the best holiday I've ever been on. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about our little holiday. If you want to see more travel content, then head over to my Instagram because that's where I post the most. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.